we're inside now. Let me give you a little talk about some of the things we discovered when we ourselves decided we wanted to start doing a little bit of upgrading to our landscaping. Beer of the day, by the way, Yingling. We started calling people that we've been using in the past, that we have used in the past, because we know their work, and if something ain't broke, why fix it? Some of them places have been sold and new owners, and they have their own rules that really I couldn't live with, so we passed. And then I started calling people that I've worked with before, and they also have new rules now because of the COVID thing. Not as far as distancing or anything like that, but because of COVID, they can't get parts in like they should. They can't get materials in like they should. And it's a back order on top of a back order on top of a back order. Now that kind of puts the companies in control of a lot of things. One is, when you have a small job, my job here, what we're doing here, that I'm doing in stages because of my financial, I won't say situation, I'm not poor or nothing, but because I have to do things in stages. I'm budgeting my money. So a lot of them, because now they're looking for the bigger job. Some of their crew members are gone. They didn't come back to work. Now that we've signed off that federal thing with unemployment, they're going to have to go back to work because that unemployment is gone. I think it's gone now, or it's going to be disappearing really soon. So most of them are working with a shallow crew. And so they're looking for the bigger jobs, and so now they've come up with this minimum charge that they never had before. None of them. None that I ever did business with. So now the people we did business with here, which was Terrascape, we showed that video, I think their minimum charge now is, I want to say $2,500. See, and this is a $3,000 job. I called the Village's Palms, which I really like the Village's Palms. They have all the information and all the equipment, and I wanted to get an estimate from them. Well, let me just say, when the guy came out here, I was walking outside when he pulled up in his truck, and I could just tell by the way he was walking and his attitude that he wasn't interested in doing this job at all. Wasn't big enough. I could just tell. That's when I found out, I believe their minimum charge was $4,500. And so the guy literally walked up my driveway. He handed me a folder. In that folder was an application for ARC, Architectural Review Committee, blah, 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 which, no, that's something that they should be doing. That's part of what I think is their job. Everybody else done it. Terrascape did the ARC approval thing. I didn't have to do all that. You get a copy of everything, but I didn't have to do it. And the guy comes up and he says, "Why are you wanting to put pavers in?" He said, "Why don't you just put concrete in and then you can have it painted to match everything else," which is originally what I thought I was wanting to do, to match. And I said, well, the problem is the concrete companies, because the Villages is building all these houses down here, they have a demand for concrete that is just unreal. So they don't really need these small jobs like what I've got. So they've got a minimum charge too. You have to buy, this ain't going to be correct. I'm just going to use this as an example. You got to buy something like 2 or 3 yards of concrete, no matter how much you use. That's the minimum charge, like 2 yards of concrete, let's say. Well, I probably need less than a yard for these 2 little squares. And with the delivery charge and the concrete charge and all this and that, it was too much. It was just too, because then I have to have it painted, and it just got to be too much. When I had these pavers put in, believe it or not, it was a lot less money. Does it match perfectly? No, but we're going to work with that. In the design of other things, we're going to try to work with that. So just know that the COVID and the lack of getting, I'll call it parts, building materials and things like that a lot of these companies now are changing the rules. And it's not necessarily to your favor. It certainly wasn't in my favor. Now, if you have a large project, it could be in your favor. You could be just fine. But if it's a smaller project, it's tough. It's tough. And the thought of going to Lowe's and just buying a bunch of stuff and dragging it to your house, or having Lowe's deliver it to your house, and hiring a couple of guys out in the parking lot to come to your house and do this work. Hey, if you feel good about doing that, you do it. This guy ain't doing that. I want a company, and I want just not any company. I want a company that's got an office, that has a front door, people that I can talk to if something goes wrong. And that's who I do business with. I don't do business with somebody's name I can't pronounce, and they got a pickup truck and a cell phone number, and that's it. They don't have nothing else. I don't do business that way, and I'm not going to. But that's up to you. You do whatever you think you need to do. So anyway, that gets you caught up on the project so far. I'll try to do more videos. I know it's probably not very interesting for a lot of people, but I just want to show you, and just wanted to tell you things that we've discovered, things that we've seen, and how it's going. And so far, everything's going good. This project started like 4 months ago, before we went on our RV trip that took 6 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. And this project was supposed to have been done before we took our RV trip. And then the materials didn't come in. And then they had to back order it. And by that time, we were already on the road. And we said, we'll call you when we get back to get started, because we're not there. And so when we got back, we called them. I don't remember how long ago it was. We got back 2 weeks ago. We called them. They put us on the board. They came out yesterday and the day before yesterday. The materials was delivered 3 days ago. The next day they showed up and started the project. And 2 days later, the part that stage 1, I'll call it, is now done. And now we've got to move on to stage 2. And in the meantime, we have to save a little money. And that gives us time to kind of work out exactly what are we wanting to do on stage 2, find out what a sunset or shade is going to cost, find out what a pergola is going to cost, how long is it going to be to get any of this stuff done. We'll just have to work through it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it helps. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to end this video and say, boy, it's hot. See you guys on the other side.